TitleMatchNetwork.com.
When I got stiffed, that's why I think I bumped well and I timed my bumps well. Because I didn't mind if I got stiffed a little bit. I was used to getting hit. It didn't bother me. Some guys I think bump hurt, like Jeff Jarrett. And I love Jeff. I don't know if I'd say I love Jeff. I'm a fan somewhat of Jeff's. I have some respect for him. I also don't respect a few things he did, like when he held up Vince for money. I thought it was a scumbag move. But I think he bumps early. And I think a lot of bigger guys shy away. Kind of cringe when a punch is coming. Like, who's the big guy in WWE now? The real big giant guy.
No, the other guy from India.
Yeah.
Kali.
Yeah, Kali.
Kalish. I mean, he's one of the biggest guys ever in wrestling, and he shies away from punches.
Yeah.
It looks horrible. It's horrible. Some will say that looks real, but no, I don't think it does. I think it looks like he's a pussy. But there were other big guys that I always thought shied away, and so when the Power Twins taught me my lesson and broke me in and made me pay my dues, that was probably the only time I was a little dissuaded. I don't even think I was dissuaded. I just saw a dirty side of the business that I still don't like.
What about Memphis? You worked down there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and when I was doing the TV tapings, Jarrett was up in WWE, and I went to him and said, "Dude, I'm 25 now. This would have been 95. Like, I'm 25. I've been doing therapy for 3 years. It's time to shit or get off the pot."
Right.
I was like, "Do you have any stroke in Memphis? Can you get me down there?" So he gave me the number of the guy and said he would call him. Never did, but he did give me the number.
Right.
Randy Hales, I believe his name was.
Okay.
And I called Randy and said, "Here's the deal, dude. I'm up in Pennsylvania. I just talked to Jeff. He said I could come down there." He's like, "All right." And this was probably, I'm going to guess, March. I said, I'm going to give my job 2 months' notice. I'll come. I was like, well, I asked him when he could use me. He said, "Come down in May." I was like, "All right, I'm going to give my job now, 2 months' notice. I'm going to tell him I'm done in May." So I did that, and then, I called him once between then. He said everything was cool, and then literally moved everything out of my apartment, put everything in my car. This other guy in Alpha School, J.S. Storm, me and him actually won the NEW tag belts from Osborne and someone else.
Glenn Osborne?
Yeah, Glenn Osborne and someone else. We beat them for the NEW tag belts. So me and him were going to do it. And I knew Memphis was a gimmick territory.
Any good road stories from Memphis?
Memphis was, I don't know if there's a good road story. I'll tell you who, I'll tell you, the day before I was going to go down there, I called up Randy again. I said, "All right, dude, tomorrow's the date. I'm driving down." He goes, "Oh, we don't have a spot." Now, J.S. Storm backed out last minute. The final week, J.S. Storm backed out. And I didn't want to go down by myself.
Right.
And to Kidman's credit, man, that motherfucker said, "Yep, I'll go." Just like that. And we got the hockey gimmick together. We're going to go down to a hockey gimmick together. So we ended up going down there, and when I called Randy the day before, he said, "We don't have a spot for you." So I called up Kidman and I told Randy, I was like, "Well, dude, I already quit my job. I already got my car packed. I'll tell you what, buddy. I'm going to come down there. I'll get a job there if I have to. And then when you do have a spot, I'll be there. I won't have to come to you." And I was like, and I said straight up, I was like, "Do you mind if I show up at the TV anyway Saturday, just to watch?"
Right.
But, I wanted to work, but I just wanted to show him I was serious. I'm showing up. And to Kidman's credit, I said, "Dude, if you don't have to go, we don't have a spot. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go." He was young, man. He was a good bit younger than me, Kidman. "No, we'll go." So me and him drive down there, and as soon as we get there, we show up at TV. And first day, man, they tape TV Saturday mornings, which airs a week later in Nashville, but it airs live in Memphis.
Right.
So we do a live TV taping. So I show up to that, and I tell them who I am. And then poor Kidman, man, they immediately tell Kidman he's too small. So I felt bad for him. But they immediately put me out there against PG-13. Dundee's kid and Wolfie D. And I was the one that started taking that pile of DDT that Kidman ended up making look perfect. But I was one of the first that would take it and end up on my head, basically. I'm lucky I have a flexible neck, and I would protect myself like this, but then as soon as I landed, I put them away, so I'd be still on my head. They just kind of collapsed. So they didn't talk much. They didn't want to talk before the TV. So I was working PG, and they just said, "We'll call it out there, and I'll beat you with this." So we go out there, and Wolfie said, "All right, take over." So I cut him off, and I just did 1 or 2 moves, and then I figured it's time for him to take back off. So I just said DDT. So I shot him in, went for it, and boom. And that always got a good reaction when I did it in Smoky too. I did it for Cornet once for the Heavenly Bodies, and took the DDT spike myself. And Cornet was managing the Heavenly Bodies, and he's the boss. And he fucking, as soon as I did it, he hit the fucking mat and shoes. He goes, "You just earned your paycheck, brother!" Screams it on TV. So I knew, from that way back in Smoky, back in '92, '93, that bump would get a reaction. So I wanted to debut it right away, because I didn't know if I was going to get another shot.
Right.
So Wolfie fucking loved me from that point on. Even Lawler said, "Bro, you can bump," But I didn't really get, I wore a hockey outfit and I had a hockey stick and I had a Stanley Cup, and I made little hockey pucks out of it. I crushed paper cups and taped them with black tape, and shot them out to the crowd.
Right.
But once that bell rang, I didn't do no fucking hockey stuff. Nothing, dude. Huh. Nothing. And, if you watch the Goon, Bill Irwin, when he did it, man, he did hockey, man. He fucking, his boots look like skates. And,
right.
So they were using me quite a bit, man. I was on the road 4 or 5 days a week, But, dude, I was making $70,000 a year as a physical therapist. They were paying my rent, paying my utilities, because I was doing the traveling thing.
Right.
And making $70,000. And I quit that. And fucking Memphis was paying me $40 a night. I was making $160 a week and putting about 12 to 1,600 miles on my car. And it was fucking tough. And and they were using me pretty good. I was happy. I felt bad for Kidman. It was hard on Kidman. But I wasn't doing the gimmick right, and I really didn't know how to put a match together too well. And I didn't really know what a babyface comeback fully was yet.
Right.
All that. I hadn't done enough TV. I'd done a lot of TV matches, and then the indie matches I was doing were just horrific. So Bill Dundee one day pulls me over and he goes, "What a hockey player is known for?" So I'm like, "Shooting?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Passing?" He goes, and I could see he's like getting really frustrated with me. And I'm telling you, at the time, I thought he was an absolute douchebag. And I was like, why is this motherfucker picking on me? Because then, finally goes, "You stupid motherfucker, fighting. That's what they're known for, fighting." So when you go out there, he goes, "Don't go out, don't do your moonsault, don't do this." He goes, "Just fucking drop your gloves, grab, tell the guy not to take his jacket off and pull it over his head." And I'm sitting there thinking, I want to do my cool stuff. Right. I want to do my high spots. I want to do my fucking moonsault. I want to do fucking technical wrestling and, shit I saw Japanese guys doing. And I remember thinking, man, it's weird, man, when you're fucking a young rookie and you think, I'm telling you, man, you know it all by the third year, and then by your 12th or 13th year, you finally start really learning. I mean, it's amazing. I thought he was a dick, and he probably more than anybody was looking out for me. And yet, the perspective at that time was he was fucking with me.
Title Match Network, your source for everything pro wrestling, with exclusive live pay-per-views featuring top talent from around the world.
I like that one.
Details direct from the source with deep diving shoot interviews and podcasts.
I love it. I love being a part of Title Match Network.
Get extreme with exclusive death matches.
I threw the door!
And of course, the best selection in women's wrestling available.
Oh!
What's gonna happen?
With thousands of clips featured on Title Match Network's YouTube channel with over 2.3 million subscribers.
Oh!
All at the tips of your fingers. Every style available 24/7 on demand. Visit TitleMatchNetwork.com to sign up today and start watching instantly.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.